Awesome. Okay. All right, stained glass. So this process is pretty easy, but it has a lot of steps. So I'm gonna talk to you about it step by step, and I recommend that you write down all the steps because when you start working, there's gonna be people in clay, there's gonna be people in jewelry, there's gonna be people in stained glass, and you may be ready for the next step, but I'll be over there helping someone throw, and then I've got clay on my hands, and I can't really help you, okay? So then you can refer to your notebook to know what to do next. All right, so very first step, you can write number 1, step number 1. You're going to go to the computer lab and print off a pattern for stained glass. This is your master pattern. And what makes a good pattern? Your very first stained glass project can only be 8 to 12 pieces. Okay, so this would even be too complicated for your first stained glass project because it's 20 pieces. All right, so sometimes it crashes your hopes and dreams because the cool things have a lot of pieces. All right, so the really simple projects, they're gonna look simple. And that's okay. It's just your first project. If you end up loving stained glass, then you can end up doing something really complex the next time. But I don't want people to get invested in a really complicated project and then they realize that they hate stained glass, okay? Or they're not able to finish it, or it's harder than they think. So that's why you have to choose a really easy one, 8 to 12 pieces, okay? So you can Google things like easy stained glass project or beginning stained glass project or stained glass pattern, and just Google a few things. I also have a book of stained glass patterns. There aren't very many beginning ones, but they at least give you some ideas. And then sometimes there's a pattern that's too many pieces, and I can help you simplify it down to the amount of pieces that you need, okay? All right, so that's number 1 is print a master pattern, and then you keep this under step number 1, and then you trace it onto pattern paper. Pattern paper, someone should be writing these down, trace onto pattern paper. Pattern paper's in the store, it's just old manila folders from the counseling office, so sometimes there's things written on them, but we recycle. Okay, and the way you trace your picture is you use the light table straight back there. It just switches on with that light switch, and you just, it just shines light through, and then you just trace it on. And you have to include the numbers. You have to number both your master pattern and your pattern pieces. It doesn't matter how you number the pieces, it just matters that they're the same, okay? Because what will happen is you'll end up cutting this one up. And this one, you know when you do a puzzle and you have to look at the top of the box to know how to put the puzzle back together? This is the top of the box. This is what you look at to know how to put all your pieces back together. Okay, it may seem simple now, but you'd be very surprised after you cut these out that this piece and this piece look exactly the same once you have them cut out of glass. Okay, or this piece and this piece look almost identical. So you want to know exactly where they go back. All right, that's step number 1. So print a picture, trace it, and number it. All right, step number 2, cut out your pattern with regular scissors and copper foil scissors, which I need a pair of regular scissors.
Over there. Copper foil scissors. He's in the water.
Okay, everything you'll need for stained glass is back here from the middle of the counter over this way. In those drawers, they're all labeled and up top, okay? So regular scissors should be over in the drawers, but if you can't find them, you've all been in my other classroom before, and there's a scissor drawer over there. Also says scissors on it, okay? All right, so you will want to cut out the outside of the pattern with regular scissors. These scissors have something sticky on them. I know. Not on the handle, just on the blade. Okay, I'm not going to cut this whole thing out, but at least part of it. Okay, so I cut out part of my turtle. So does that make sense? You're doing all the outside edges just with regular scissors. Okay, then any pieces that are touching other pieces need to be cut out with copper foil scissors. And they will be in the drawer over there. They should have it scratched inside copper foil. There are also scissors that say lead cam. That is for a lead cam project. You're not doing a lead cam project, which you will learn about later, okay? So you want the ones that say copper foil. And what's special about the copper foil scissors is that they cut a little space between. So let me show you. Regular scissors, when you cut a piece of paper, it's just a line, okay? Copper foil scissors cut out this little space. Do you see that little space?
A lot thicker.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, where'd the little piece go? Yeah, this is the little piece that it cut out. All right, the reason you need copper foil scissors is because all of your pieces will grow a tiny bit because you'll wrap them in copper foil. Okay, so it makes the piece like enlarge just the tiniest bit. Doesn't seem like it would matter until you try and put all your pieces back together. And if you haven't used copper foil scissors to account for that little growth, then your pieces won't fit back together. Okay, so any pieces that are touching other pieces, I'm going to cut out with copper foil scissors. So like the head here. And they're kind of annoying to use. So I like to keep a regular pair of scissors on hand so I can kind of clean up what the copper foil scissors are supposed to be doing. Because sometimes it's supposed to cut out that little space, but sometimes it'll just kind of fold it. And so then you can trim it off with regular scissors. So I keep both next to me, okay? Just because these are kind of dull, especially getting around corners is sometimes difficult. All right, so here's the headpiece. Again, like I said, you can simplify. Originally, this headpiece was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, but you can simplify it down to 1. You can just call this one piece, okay? So that's one way to simplify. All right, now, so that was step number 2. Cut out your pieces with regular scissors on the outside and copper foil on the inside edges, okay? Step number 3 is to glue your pieces onto glass. Joe, can you pick out a piece of glass for us that'll fit?
Yeah.
Not a bumpy one.
So we're gonna destroy Kyle.
Go back to it.
That's too big.
This white one.
Okay, we'll do this one. I just don't want to waste a piece that someone could use.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, rubber cement. So I just read rubber cement has harmful vapors, and I just read that as a pregnant person, I'm not supposed to be breathing this in. So, to all keep my child safe, I need all of you guys to keep the lids on when you're rubber cementing. So when you rubber cement, put a piece on and then just put the lid back on, so to cut down on the vapors, okay? So I'm going to do it really fast and I'm not going to breathe. What?
Start wearing a cast. No, just kidding.
I don't want to do that.
Don't breathe.
Awesome what you did.
Okay, while it dries, we'll put it over there. Anyone smell it? I can't smell anything. Okay, I did good. All right, so that's step number 3 is to glue your pieces onto glass with rubber cement. Okay, everyone write down step number